Greetings and welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring all of the tools and resources that you'll need to help you along your journey. This podcast is divided into 3 sections. The first is a daily reading. The second is a discussion of the reading followed by suggested journal prompts. And the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us today. I'm so glad that you're here as we continue on this journey of self-expansion and growth. If this is your first time, welcome. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. Like, share, and subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support here helps spread the word and grow this community of self-reparenting. Now for a few updates. First, I'm excited to introduce our Patreon community, where for a small monthly fee, you can join us for 3 weekly reparenting support meetings. Sundays, we have a guided meditation for emotional grounding. On Tuesdays, we have a book club discussion for deeper discussions and growth. And on Thursdays, we have open topic conversations for real-time support on any topics that may come up. You can find all of the details about what's included in this community by going to the Reparenting Daily website and checking out the community tab. In addition, we now have a WhatsApp support group, a global network of fellow travelers available anytime you need encouragement, guidance, or a simple connection. This is just one of the many ways we're building a strong, supportive space for your reparenting journey. The next announcement is that I've just released my first few books. The first is the Reparenting Daily Journal, a structured 365-day guide to help you work through reparenting day by day. Starting in 2025, each month focuses on a key theme with weekly sub-themes. The Reparenting Daily podcast episodes align with the journal, making it an interactive and immersive experience to help you stay focused and ensure real progress this year. Now for the next announcement, I'm thrilled to introduce Fairy Tales for Reparenting Daily, a collection of 3 books inspired by Jungian analysis, mythology, philosophy, psychology, and most importantly, the work of Marie-Louise von Franz. These short, simple stories are designed to help you reconnect with your inner child and experience healing through storytelling. What makes these books unique? Well, at the end of each story, there's a deep dive analysis exploring its themes, explored by journal prompts to help you reflect on how these lessons relate to your personal journey. All of these books are now available on Amazon, so go ahead and take a look and support this project. Reparenting is a journey of growth, iterative change, and continuous improvement. Much like nurturing the bonsai tree, it requires patience, care, consistency, and attention. Thanks for being here and supporting this work, and for committing on your journey of self-expansion. Now, without further ado, let's dive into today's practice. Today's reading is from The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Brandon. This is a reminder, we're in June, and the theme for this month is Cultivating Self-Worth and Self-Love. We're in week 1, which is June 1st until the 7th, Understanding Self-Worth. Self-Esteem. The 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. We're going to be reading from the first section, Chapter 1, Self-Esteem, the Immune System of Consciousness. There are realities we cannot avoid. One of them is the importance of self-esteem. Regardless of what we do or do not admit, we cannot be indifferent to our self-evaluation. However, we can run from this knowledge if it makes us uncomfortable. We can shrug it off, evade it, declare that we are only interested in practical matters, and escape into baseball or the evening news or the financial pages or a shopping spree or sexual adventure or a drink or 2. Yet self-esteem is a fundamental human need. Its impact requires neither our understanding nor our consent. It works way within us, with or without our knowledge. We are free to speak, to grasp the dynamics of self-esteem, or to remain unconscious of them. But in the latter case, we remain a mystery to ourselves and endure the consequences. Let us look at the role of self-esteem in our lives. A preliminary definition. By self-esteem, I mean much more than an innate sense of self-worth that presumably is our birthright. That spark of psychotherapists and teachers seek to fan in those they work with. That spark is only the anagram of self-esteem. Self-esteem, fully realized, is the experience that we are appropriate to life and to the requirements of life. More specifically, self-esteem is confidence in our ability to think, confidence in our ability to cope with the basic challenges of life, and confidence in our right to be successful and happy. The feeling of being worthy, deserving, entitled to assert our needs and wants, achieve our values, and enjoy the fruits of our efforts. Later, I will refine and condense this definition. I do not share the belief that self-esteem is a gift we have only to claim by reciting affirmations, perhaps. On the contrary, it possesses over time, represents an achievement. The goal of this book is to examine the nature and roots of that achievement. The basic pattern, to trust one's mind and to know that one is worthy of happiness, is the essence of self-esteem. The power of this conviction about oneself in the fact that it is more than a judgment or feeling. It is a motivator. It inspires behavior. In turn, it is directly affected by how we act. Causation follows both directions. There is a continuous feedback loop between our actions in the world and our self-esteem. The level of our self-esteem influences how we act, and how we act influences the level of our self-esteem. To trust one's mind and to know that one is worthy of happiness is the essence of self-esteem. That sentence hits a bit hard. I trust my mind and judgment. I'm more likely to operate as a thinking being, exercise my ability to think, bring appropriate awareness to my activities. My life works better. This reinforces trust in my mind. If I distrust my mind, I am more likely to be mentally passive, to bring less awareness than I need to my activities, and less persistence in the face of difficulties. When my actions lead to disappointing or painful results, I feel justified in distrusting my mind. With high self-esteem, I'm more likely to persist in the face of difficulties. With low self-esteem, I'm more likely to give up or go through the motions without really giving it my best. Research shows that high self-esteem subjects will persist at a task significantly longer than low self-esteem subjects. If I persevere, the likelihood is that I will succeed more often than I fail. If I don't, the likelihood is that I will fail more often than I succeed. Either way, my view of myself will be reinforced. If I respect myself and require others deal with me respectfully, I send out signals and behave in ways that increase the likelihood that others will respond appropriately. When they do, I am reinforced and confirmed in my initial belief. If I lack self-respect and consequently accept discourtesy, abuse, or exploitation from others as natural, I unconsciously transmit this, and some people will treat me at my self-estimate. When this happens, and I submit to it, my self-respect deteriorates still more. The value of self-esteem lies not merely in the fact that it allows us to feel better, but it allows us to live better, to respond to challenges and opportunities more successfully and more appropriately. Thank you, and that's the reading for today. Welcome back, welcome back. This reading is very important, even though this month's theme is really self-worth and self-love. But this reading on self-esteem is really helping us to, as the title of the book, uncover the pillars of self-esteem so we can understand how that functions, which is essential for us to continue with the month's theme of self-worth and self-love. Understanding self-worth is this week's theme, and in order to solidify our understanding of self-worth, it's important to understand the building blocks of the self-esteem. This reading was very touching because it, in this one sentence, to trust one's mind and to know that one is worthy of happiness is the essence of self-esteem. I think of how many of us grew up in families where we were unable to trust our minds because we were not able to have the validation from our parents, sometimes even direct outright gaslighting. And so it really touched me to see really the functional aspects of how our dysfunctional childhoods really impacted our self-esteem in more of an operational way. This definition of self-esteem that he will define or refine later in the book, it gives us a place to orient. It's much more than a sense of worth. It's really the confidence in your ability to think, the confidence in your ability to cope with basic challenges, or your right to be successful and happy, to feel worthy and deserving, and able to assert your needs. This is an excellent book, and I highly suggest you check it out further if this is an issue that you're still needing to explore in more depth. But as we go into the journal prompts today, number one, in which ways, based on this initial definition of self-esteem, has your childhood either helped or hindered the development of your self-esteem? Of course, you might have instances of both, examples of both. Explore those. Number two, how do you deal with crises and difficult situations now? Is your self-esteem able to cope and to allow you to continue to search for solutions? Which, if you're listening to this podcast, must be the case. And number three, in which ways can you work on improving your self-esteem in the areas where you find you're facing challenges? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself and be well. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please go ahead and find a space where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for this 10-minute silent meditation. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you comfortable today. Take a moment to simply be with yourself. Focus on your breath and gently connect with each part of your body. If thoughts arise, don't let them overwhelm you. Just observe them without attachment. Imagine them as leaves drifting down atop a river, passing by without needing your engagement. Stay present, grounded, and open to this moment, no matter what time you are listening and practicing this meditation. Namaste.